And that really is a theme that we're starting to see now that the waters are receding in parts of Brisbane. We are seeing some of Queensland's famous faces, some of Queensland's icons really stepping up and offering assistance and helping, which is great. I mean, you've got your volunteers from far and wide helping out, but it really is great to see that people like Wally Lewis are there helping sandbag, and people like, you know, Shane Watson saying, oh, I'm going to go back to Ipswich, I'm going to help out the people of Ipswich there where he's still got family based. It is nice to see, and I'm sure we will see a lot of people help out in the next few days. We were talking to Heather Ford while you were flying up there. We were earlier talking to Heather Ford, who said that she's got, she was talking to somebody from Surf Life Saving that had come down from the Sunshine Coast, just offering assistance, and she was one of many people that had come down from the Sunshine Coast just to help out, to help in the search and rescue situation there. They brought their boat, they'd bought their smile, and they were helping out for the rest of the day, which is really nice to see.
Yeah, it really has, you know, it really has pulled at the heartstrings of every Queenslander, and, you know, it doesn't matter where you are. I think people see these pictures that they're seeing on TV and just absolutely gobsmacked, you know, and as you say, and to give you an idea, we were in Dalby a couple of days ago, and the people of Dalby were themselves in the middle of, you know, something like the 5th flood in 20 days out there, and so they were in dire straits. But that was the same day that we saw that inland tsunami hit Toowoomba, and, you know, it was on their minds something shocking. You know, people walking around talking to people, they weren't thinking about themselves, but they were thinking about what was happening, you know, only an hour away from them. And that gives you some idea, is that, you know, it doesn't matter what's happening to them, there's always somebody worse off in their mind. And a lot of people said, look, I just want to get to Toowoomba to help those people. And they were leaving their own flooded homes to go and help the people of Toowoomba. So, you know, if there's anything, like you say, we do best, it's pull together when times are down.
What's the situation in the city there? Places like Fortitude Valley, are they, Newstead, are they still cut off or not?
Yeah, parts of those suburbs are still cut off. I mean, the water is slowly going down in some areas, but you're looking at, you know, as you say, Fortitude Valley, East Brisbane and New Farm, there are still dozens of streets around there that you just can't get to. So, you know, but I think people are finding, there are a few people, you know, around those suburbs on the road just checking, but people, you know, should be warned. If they can stay away from those flooded roads right now, they really should, and just wait, you know, another day or so until the waters really start to go down and the danger well and truly passes.
Well, that really is the problem I think authorities are facing at the moment, with the latest death confirmed in Brisbane, the first death that we have seen in Brisbane as a direct result of these floods. The 24-year-old man who was checking his father's property and got sucked into a drain.
Oh, it's just heartbreaking to hear those stories, you know, and there are so many warnings out there, and I guess for a lot of people, they think they'll be okay, you know, they think they can handle a little bit of water, and it might not seem as deep to a lot of people, but, you know, stories like that really do show you that it doesn't matter, you know, how far the water is going down, but there is a very real danger out there, and we're starting to see these freak stories like that, you know, I mean, and people, I guess, are very worried about their homes, you know, these are people's livelihoods, but, you know, it will take every bit of their heart to just, you know, not go back and just wait a couple of days, you know, but I think at the end of the day, as long as you've got your life and your family, I think that's really got to be the message to these people, is that we want to keep them alive.
Yeah, indeed. Tell us, Melissa, where are you flying over now? You've got the Story Bridge in Brisbane, and just a few, few cars
that's
there.
a Story Bridge. So coming off the left of our screen now, we're heading into Fortitude Valley. So these are the streets which you can see just probably to the top left of our screen now. A few of those streets around there are still a little bit wet, but, you know, it really has stretched right from the CBD, as you say, into the valley, and that's usually a very, very busy area around Brisbane. But, you know, there are a few cars going down, but it's a ghost town as well at the moment.
Yeah, OK. Melissa, we'll leave it there. Thanks very much for chatting to us. As we said, this is the first time you're seeing the city that's partially underwater at the moment, so we'll leave it there. But it is good to have your company this afternoon joining us.